win. Like, actually fantastic. Straight up amazing. Yeah. What? I don't know, you just said it kind of funny. So what kind of funny? I don't know. No Matthews, no Nylander. They're missing a bunch of other guys. They shut out the Devils. Like, it's pretty good, right? Yeah, it is pretty good. They needed the points. It was unexpected. But you did expect it. I mean, we all kind of expected it. You're a little mad. I am not a little mad. They pulled off that crazy win with a decimated roster, and you're a little mad. I am not. I just want to know why they don't do this all the time. He's a little mad. I'm getting there. Let's go. It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion. That's just a nightmare. With you wherever you are. Welcome to LFR. Victory puppies! Even when it's unlikely, and it's unlikely. This is $50 to the Humane Society of Durham Region. Leafs win! 4-0 over the New Jersey Devils. Man, sometimes you can just tell when this team is gonna lose. Like the other night, the Columbus Blue Jackets are playing the Ottawa Senators. The Blue Jackets, because of weather delays and everything, barely make it to the game on time. And every logical explanation for how this game might go, every logical assumption is that the team with every advantage, not the Blue Jackets, is going to win this game. Naturally, the Blue Jackets won! And it reminded me of a game that happened, I believe, last year, where the Leafs were playing a team, I believe it was the Detroit Red Wings, who barely arrived to the game on time. Leafs had every conceivable advantage and did not win. Dude, look at this. Like, this is the season from hell. This is legitimately the season from hell, and I've never seen an injury report like we did this morning. Dakota Joshua has like a kidney injury? Like, we're looking for, like, is it lower body, upper body? This dude's hurting organs? He's been through enough in his NHL career. Legitimately hope the best for him. Chris Tanev got hurt. He got 2 serious injuries already this season, and this might be a third, although they keep saying it's unrelated to the first 2, which I guess is sort of good news, because if it was related to the injury that he got, head and neck, from earlier this season, it could be legitimately career-threatening. Then there's William Nylander, who's just day-to-day, would not play. And Austin Matthews, who blocked a shot in the second period of the Detroit game, finished the game, and was a game-time decision today, decided cannot play. By the way, sorry to this fan in particular who brought the sign, Matthews, I came from Slovakia. Can we trade my little jersey for your big stick? Dude. No. God, I hope the Leafs did something for that kid. That's brutal. Not blaming Matthews or anything. He somehow finished that game against the Red Wings, legitimately almost scored the goal of his career, and was a crossbar away from ending the thing in overtime. Couldn't go tonight. So people are talking about, like, oh, they don't have the big guys for this game. Dude, they were decimated. Losing Matthews, obviously bad. Losing Nylander, obviously bad. Chris Tanev, for the last season and a half, has been like the bedrock of this D-core. It's been other guys too. Jake McCabe, holy smokes, as he picked up his socks. But Chris Tanev in this lineup makes the whole thing look so much better. And Dakota Joshua, outside of a really tough first month as a Leaf, has been such a night-in, night-out contributor for the Leafs on the forecheck, hitting and chipping in the occasional point or two. Dude, today the Leafs called up Matt Benning. Did you know that the Leafs employ a person named Matt Benning? Well, they do, and if he plays a game, he'll be the 11th guy to play D for them this year. I loved the Sportsnet pregame, like, in terms of the narrative about this game. Like, what are you looking for? Instead of just throwing up their hands and shrugging their shoulders and being like, yeah, well, the Leafs are screwed. They're like, what a great opportunity this is for so many guys on this team. You have no other options. You have no other choice. Other guys on this team, in this situation especially, have to step up. Who on the Leafs had a bad game? Who? Name one. You can't, and if you can, don't. They won 4-0. Every single Leafs forward, except for Steven Lorenz somehow, registered a hit. Every Leafs forward registered at least one shot on goal, except for Jacob Quillen, who only played 7 minutes, and Steven Lorenz somehow. but he did get an assist, so lay off of Steven. Outside of Quillen, who only had 10 shifts, I would like to see him play more, but hard to complain about a 4-0 loss. Outside of Quillen, who only had 10 shifts, every other Leaf had at least 17. Without looking, without cheating, who led Leaf forwards in shifts? Who played the most shifts? Because there's 3 guys missing, right? Matthews, Nylander, and Joshua. Was it John Tavares? John Tavares would be a good guess. No. He did lead forwards in ice time with 1935, but he did not lead them in shifts. He only had 23. It was Nick Waugh with 25. Simone Benoit played 16 minutes. Philip Myers played 17 and a half. They're never in the same game together. Morgan Riley and Jake McCabe led the way with 30 shifts each. Joseph Woll with 33 saves and a shutout, and a bunch of them were really good, like paddle save Emporium clearing him off the line. Now I could see how you would look at this and be a wee bit frustrated that the Leafs, so completely decimated, put together such a near flawless effort, honestly. Like, there are people legitimately calling it their most complete game of the year, and yeah. Well, I don't know. They beat the Penguins 7-2. I thought that was pretty good. They did have another shutout this season, but that was 2-0 against Tampa, and one of them was an empty netter. Dude, this was 3-0. You did great on the power play. Again? You did great just after a power play? Again? You did great 5-on-5? You laid a physical beating on them? We gotta talk about the Devils. Holy cow. And you might say to yourself, what if Austin Matthews was in the lineup and William Nylander was in the lineup and everyone else just did that anyway? It's crazy because it's not even a brand new thing. The Leafs have historically had a crazy good record without Matthews, and this is just off the top of my head. I don't have the actual numbers in front of me, but their defensive numbers, or at very least their goals against, are usually very low. And it's not because he sucks. Like, this is a very good two-way forward who just happens to have it in his bag to score 60 goals every couple years. Now, let me throw this out there, and you just put on your glove and let me see if you catch it. Craig Berube has been playing Matthews so crazily defensively, like in way too many defensive situations. Way too many. What if you just didn't do that nearly as much? Dude, you obviously don't have to. And I know he's been reducing it a little bit, since Lawton got healthy and everything, but Waugh! Trust Waugh as well. Well, I do. I put them in. Trust them more! Have a couple games where you just make Matthews be a goal suck. I don't know. Now I'm getting into criticisms again. Again, there's nothing to criticize about this win. This win's like the last donut in the box. That was delicious, but I wish there were more. First period, the Devils take a penalty. The Leafs go to the power play. The Leafs had some chances, but did not score. I didn't know they were allowed to do that. I thought they just kind of stopped doing that. But then Stefan Nason, former Leaf, for like 5 seconds, takes a call and sends the Leafs back to the power play. And what I loved about this goal was the simplicity of it. Bobby McMahon's coming in. Nick Robertson, who has the puck, says, hey, I know that guy. Gives it to McMahon, who has a lane, and he has a good shot, so he uses it! Exactly how I drew it up. The Sully bump! The Leafs power play scores again since bringing on Steve Sullivan. It is ridiculous. Sully magic, Sully bump, whatever you want to call it. And look at that. Hey, you're the team in the lead! Ah! You need to be that, like, in order to win. See where you are in the standings? Ooh. You do this enough, ooh. You take a 1-0 lead, and all of a sudden, you feel good. The Devils don't. Second period, almost identically the same distance into the period. It was 14 minutes and 21 seconds for the first goal, and it was 14 minutes and 24 seconds for the second goal. The Leafs have a power play again, and 3-2-1 just as it expires. Like, I'm talking a second after it expires. Actually, I could calculate this. Yes, literally 1 second after this penalty expired. Robertson sees traffic in front. It's good. That's good. Go to the net. and he shoots it. Now, I don't know if he was shooting it to shoot it or shooting it to pass it. He was probably shooting it to pass it, but it goes directly off of Bobby McMahon's stick and directly off of Nick Waugh's stick. Like a lightning bolt, this thing. No, I didn't. This didn't count as a power play goal. I didn't really do anything. It was me, but it's fine. It won't count as a power play goal, but as Craig Simpson pointed out on the broadcast, it does count as a plus, and the Leafs take a 2-0 lead. Nick Robertson, who did very well in spurts in the Leafs' top 6 earlier this season, they need guys to step up tonight. Who's going to step up? Nicky Bobby. He's getting a bigger role here. We need you. He's been producing. Bobby McMahon, he's been producing. Nick Waugh, Berube trusted him with everything tonight. And the Leafs head into second intermission on home ice, decimated, but up to nothing. Now, this was the part that scared me, because scoring goals over the last few games, Leafs have been able to do that. Protecting leads, that's still been a bit of a struggle. They've been winning, they've been scraping points, but you gotta hold on to leads, man. Then a hilarious moment in the third. Nico Hischier is trying to get anything going, and he's just yapping at Matthew Knies, and Knies is yapping back. But here's the thing. There's guys who are like, hey, I'll beat you up. My chirps aren't very good. Matthew Knies doesn't really do that. Like, our first glimpse of this was when a very young Matthew Knies in the 2019 series against the Bruins was saying to David Pastrnak, no, me. Go me. He didn't walk in there like, hey, buddy, I'm going to kick your butt. No, he's calmly explaining, sir, if you would like to participate in fisticuffs, I would gladly oblige you. He's very polite about it. He's a nice young man. With this one, with Nico Hischier, like, look at his body language. He's, like, annoyed at Hischier. Like, he's wasting his time. Like, he's making him late. Like, I gotta go to work. He's asking Nico Hischier if he wants to fight, like a parent demanding their kid put their shoes on. But just put your shoes on. Can you put your shoes? Do you want me to help you put your shoes on? No, you want to do it yourself. Okay, but then, and I gotta give Hischier some credit, he drops the gloves. And then, to Knies' credit, he drops Hischier. Hischier grabbed on to Knies before Knies got either glove off, but here's Hischier's problem. The left one came off first. Hadouken! Knies didn't quite catch him flush, but he caught him and he won that thing. He cut his hand up a little bit. He saw him put the towel on it. That was the moment where I was like, the Devils aren't doing very well. Like, that is a captain desperate to give their team a spark. Will it work? No! The Leafs' fourth line scored like right after. The goal is still awarded to Calle Järnkrok. He shot it and it hit either Steven Lorentz, one of the Devils in front, or a very crafty ghost with good hand-eye. It counts as Järnkrok's 5th of the season, and immediately after Hischier tries to spark his team, the Leafs go up 3-0, and that's basically it. Knies does take a not-so-great penalty with a not-so-great amount of time left in the game, and the Devils pull Markstrom, who had a bit of a tough one, and it's 6-on-4. But the Leafs kill it. And who ices the thing with an empty netter? The guy who just came out of the box, Matthew Knies. Assists on that one, John Tavares, a very well-earned point. He deserved one in this game. And secondary assist on an empty netter, who cares? They all count. Nick Waugh. Really deserved that thing. Joseph Woll picks up the 33-save shutout, and I need to check something. Okay, it still says 33 shots. The reason I had to check, here's a tweet that I got either before the game or during the first period from a Devils fan. DevsFan82 said, y'all are gonna shut us out 4-0. Wool with 32 saves. 1-0 them, fire Fitz. So this is a Devils fan who obviously wants Tom Fitzgerald, Leaf legend, fired. Dude, he called the final score. He called Joseph Wool's saves to it within 1. How? With those very valuable 2 points, the Leafs leapfrog 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, and one of those teams is the Devils. Dude, they were really good, and then Jack Hughes got hurt, and they were really bad, and then they got Jack Hughes back, and they're still bad. Hischier is fighting guys he should definitely not be fighting. What's going on? What did Sheldon Keefe, who is the head coach of the Devils now, have to say? From James Nichols, who quoted Sheldon Keefe on Nico Hischier dropping the gloves and the Devils' lack of, quote, balls. I mean, do I want our captain and one of our best players fighting when we're down 2-0 in the third period? Absolutely not. But do we need some guys to step up to show some emotion and show some balls and play with some urgency and competitiveness and step out of character? Yeah, we need more of that. So to that end, I like it. I like that Nico did it, and hopefully it rubs off on the rest of the group in a positive way. I didn't think that it did it in that moment. Yeah, well, they got scored. Yeah. Anyway, but you want to talk about gut checks. There's one. Your captain's out there taking on a big guy, stepping out of character. We'll see what we have with our group. But we need more guys that are going to show a little bit more. If you're not going to score, give us a little bit more competitively and physically and show that you're working to find your way. There's not enough of that. We're just kind of going about our business. Now, Leaf fans are going to roll their eyes and they're going to be like, yeah, Sheldon, these are just the teams that you coach. Nah, if you've been watching LFR and the podcast, I've been saying this about the Devils for years. And my criticism of the Devils' softness predates Sheldon Keefe being their coach. Like, Brendan Dillon is a problem. Like, that's a tough guy. He did get knocked out in his 1000th game, but, like, that's a tough guy. Which is part of why I loved Nick Robertson going at him and Nick Waugh, the two Nicks, just deciding to flatten him. And, like, they have guys who, like, I wouldn't call them soft. You wouldn't necessarily call them, like, a physical bully or anything. They're not wimps, but there's not much there physically. You're not scared of them, is what I'm saying. Dude, your next game is against the last place in the East, Columbus Blue Jackets, who, if they win, could tie you. If the Devils perform well, if they win a few games, they could be in a playoff spot by the end of the week. Or, very realistically, they could be dead last in the East, which is not where I had them at all. Keith's right. This is gut check time for the Devils. They got to figure it out. Questions. Amid the latest rumors, should the Leafs trade Michelli to divisional rival Bruins to get back some draft capital? Okay, so this isn't a bad question. It just seems ridiculous because, like, time moves ridiculously fast. A couple weeks ago, it was rumored that the Leafs were looking at moving Michelli, and one of the teams that was actually interested was the Boston Bruins. It made perfect sense. You're not using this player. Send him to the Bruins, get some stuff, get some cap space. You're not using this player. Now, of course, we all knew that the moment Michelli puts on a Boston Bruins uniform, he was going to win the Art Ross. But now he just looks like kind of a good player who shouldn't come out of the lineup, like anytime soon, or ever, actually. That's not really a guy that you trade, and it's definitely not a guy you trade to Boston. Also, the Leafs, like, don't have any players right now, so you maybe shouldn't be trading anyone. Can we just make up our mind here? Really not into surrendering the 6th overall pick. Yeah, here's the thing. With so many injuries, there was a lot of talk about, like, all right, the Leafs just got to pull the chute. Like, they just got to start trading guys and not necessarily tank, but retool. To me, no. The Eastern Conference is so tight, and you're right there. The benefit for making the playoffs in any way, shape, or form, no matter how many games you win or lose in the playoffs, is obvious. You don't want to give a potential top 10 pick to the Bruins. Also, making the playoffs is good. Win and you're in. Who on earth picked the Florida Panthers to go to the Stanley Cup final in 2023? No one! They barely even made the playoffs of their own accord. The Penguins screwed it up against Chicago. They backed in against the greatest regular season team of all time. Went down 3-1 and basically went, let's just build a dynasty. I'm not trying to tell you this Leafs team are going to be Stanley Cup contenders. I'm just saying you can't pull the chute now. Did we win because I'm in the city finally and didn't go to the game because I feel like I'm bad luck? Yes, that is why they won. Oh, there's more. Also, Hollander or Rozanov? I know they call him Rozanov, but I think it's Rozanov. Fine, Hollander or Rozanov? I prefer Rozanov. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. Relax. I don't know. He just seems like more of a badass. I love the complete lack of gosh darns that he gives. And he's jacked. I mean, compared to me, they're both jacked. But like, dude, he's jacked. And I don't know if this is a weird thing. I have right-handed shooter bias because I'm right-handed. And even though I suck, every time I see a right-handed player, I'm like, ah, hey, that's my guy. Let's go. I hope that guy's good. Is he good? Look up that he's good. I think he's good. Anyway, my friends, that does it for the last LFR of 2025. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends. I'll see you in 2026. It's a hilarious joke. They'll love it.